All right, man. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, March 18th. We've got Adam,
Are we live?
the Peak.
Hello.
We are live.
Syllabus.
Host of People of Packaging Podcast. You got me, Evelio Matos, host of Packaging Unboxed. Today, we're talking about a post that we saw this morning on paper cups
and microplastics.
Microplastics. So we're going to kind of talk about it, break down what's happening, what to consider, and how that kind of impacts your packaging. So we'll get to it in a second. All right. So this post was up this morning.
Paper cups aren't just paper. There's actually a plastic.
And this is from Julia Vole. Please go follow her. She does some really good content. But she's talking about this paper cup, right? So she's gone through the same process that Adam, you went through.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing it's a different sort of
similar idea.
Yeah, it's a similar idea for sure.
Yep. Breaking down the outer material, right? So in this case, it's paper. When you did it to aluminum cans to reveal the inner plastic liner. And I don't know, maybe it's because we're in packaging, because we're dealing with these materials that, what's up, Ryan Fox? Go follow Ryan Fox. Let us know where you guys are watching from. And do me a favor, if you know anyone in packaging that should be watching this, should be having this conversation, tag them in the comments, because the more, the merrier. But it shocks me to the number of people that don't realize that there's actually plastic in all these other areas of your life, right? In paper cups, in aluminum. And when you tell them, they're just blown away.
Yeah.
So what do you like? So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I find it interesting, and I did grab the Liquid Death can here that I destroyed. I deathified with my son. I'm not going to take a loop to it, but we'll do that another time.
What's up, Hugh?
Yeah. What's up?
We got Tim Bulkey coming on.
He puts the OH in Ohio. So I think that the reason that people don't know it is because it's not marketed that way, right? Like it destroys a lot of the marketability if you're like, this aluminum can contains plastic, this paper cup contains plastic. It's like, oh, if people really knew that, I think that they would still probably use the paper cup or the aluminum can for various reasons, but it would change their dynamic, right? Like brands are going to always say as much information as they have to say in order to be compliant. You don't have to say that it has plastic on the liner, right? But this whole idea, what's up, Chris? She's in Colorado, home of the Colorado State University Rams, who are the 12th seed in the upcoming March Madness NCAA bracket. And I haven't even asked Evelio who he picked to win it all. Evelio, who's your pick to win all of college basketball?
Give me 3 names and I'll pick one. It's kind of like when you get that chicken to pick and then you gamble on it.
I'll give you 3 legitimate ones that I think: St. John's, Houston, Florida.
It makes it tough because I've lived in all of those areas. So we'll just pick St. John's.
That's a good pick. They're really hot. Coach Pitino has them playing well. It's a great comeback story. So this whole thing is like it shouldn't be surprising to people that there's plastic on the inside of these where there's going to be hot or cold liquid, because we don't really have a material other than glass that is suitable for that type of application, right? I mean, I would imagine even if I broke down this Yeti coffee mug, obviously there's plastic here in the lid. There's probably something on the inside of this.
Inside, yeah, for sure.
So we act like the plastic that we can see is the only thing that matters. And in that video, she talks about how, you know, you're getting all these microns of micro PP into your body or microplastic. It's just like, Number one, the whole microplastics thing that are definitely coming from plastic water bottles and plastic linings. I don't know. I have no idea if that actually happens or not, right? Like, is it possible? Sure. Is it actually happening because of the liners or because of the PET bottles? I don't
Check.
think so, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like it's you can look at a million different studies and interpret each one a million different ways. So yeah, your water bottles, they're sitting in the hot sun and they're allegedly breaking down and you're getting plastics in there, but are you getting plastic from that or are you getting plastic from the water being put in and all the plastic lines that have been, that the water's kind of
I don't
been
think
through,
any
right?
of
Like,
I don't think almost any of it is actually coming from that. I think a lot of
well,
it's coming like our clothing and
but like, so if you look, there's a few studies on the water in the plastic water bottles, and that allegedly already contains microplastics.
Yeah.
In that water, right? So
Right.
like, where's that coming from? Could it be from our clothes? 100%. Like,
yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
a
Doesn't
ton
have
of
plastic in it.
there's a ton of plastic in our clothing and we wash them all the time, right? And then that water goes somewhere, and it struggles to be filtered. What do we have here? Did you chat GPT this? Please tell me you did
No,
not.
I actually went and found cups at Home Depot,
Okay,
right? Disposable paper cups,
talk to me.
$207 for a cup. But
I
check
think
this
Elizabeth
out.
was the one, if I had to guess. Tim, the Akron Zips are not going to win at all. I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
It says,
Polyline. Oh,
yeah, right. So like, that's pretty good. They're being upfront about it. It's just nobody's reading it, right? You just see paper cup. All right, $207 for a cup. Do it, right? Like that's the challenge.
yeah, it's
Even if you
tough.
put it, are people going to read it?
I mean, they can, at least on that Home Depot page, they have the ability to do so. And, it also begs the question, if, let's say you get like a PLA cup that says compostable, even though nobody composts those cups,
Right.
like they end up recycling them because it's green and pretty and, is made to look sustainable, but they go to the recycling bin, which is a massive problem. So stop doing that. If you see something that says, I forget,
Compost.
eco products,
Yeah. Landfill.
compost, you throw it in the trash. If there's not a way to industrially compost packaging in your state, just throw it in the trash.
Why? All right.
Do those have
move on, though.
microplastics? Do those have microplastics? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, for sure. Before you move, but it composts in your body. Before you go further, why help someone understand why you don't put compostable plastics in the recycle bin? It sounds like it would be perfect. What happens?
Because we don't have any viable end markets for recycling something like PLA. Now you can technically, like, I believe corrugate, if Ryan Fox is still on, I'm trying to elicit a response. I believe that corrugated boxes and certain papers are also, they're both recyclable and compostable. So those would be, there's some things that are probably fine in either, but compostable films, compostable stand-up pouches, compostable wrappers, compostable cups and cutlery and all that stuff, oh good, Ryan is on. All of that stuff is not really, it's not recyclable because there's no mechanism with which to recycle it, and there's no end market for PCR PLA.
You're not answering it for the layman.
Because you can't recycle it.
Why?
Because nobody will buy it and nobody can recycle it.
Because what
are you trying to get me to say?
What I'm trying to get to is that you actually it's
just say it.
It reduces the value of the plastic, of the raw material that you are recycling, right? They don't want a product.
Oh, if it gets mixed up. Yeah,
right. Because if you're putting it in the recycle bin to get recycled, yeah, it could go through the process, and it probably will go through the process because there's no way to identify and separate it. So when it goes through,
like the forks and the knives and the spoons and all that stuff, I think that all gets sorted out. The cups,
yeah, but they've got, but you've got like bottles, you've got all sorts of stuff that contains that as well, right? So like when you get that material and mix it in with the plastics, that then breaks down, it reduces the quality of the plastic that you get out of that. And it creates more work for somebody to actually pull that stuff out. And then like
let me give you a great example of Elio.
I'd love great examples.
Great. So yesterday we talked about the various bins that we have, and I have one for yard waste. If I were to include in my yard, which is compost, if I were to include in my yard waste human and dog excrement, like technically that is
yard waste at your house.
That is also waste. It would compost, but it absolutely is terrible for what they're trying to accomplish, right? So it's going to contaminate the organic waste of the grass clippings and the weeds and the tree trimmings and all that kind of stuff. That's what they want. Similarly, like don't take a dump in there is what I'm trying to say. Don't poop in your compost bin, and don't should be the new name of the show. But you're doing the same thing when you take compostable packaging and put it in. You're just taking a giant dump into the plastic recycling stream.
So then before we wrap up here, if you see those compostable dog poop bags, you don't pick up the poop and you don't put them in that bag and you don't put that in your compost bin. Is that what you're saying?
If you have a compostable dog poop bag and you're just going to throw away the bags and just throw them put everything that's going to go into your regular trash. If you pick up dog poop in a compostable bag, put it in the trash. The compostable bags are kind of silly for dog poop because you can't compost the bag once you fill it with dog poop.
Yep.
This has been a really crappy episode.
It has. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap up. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
By Dude Wipes.
We will see you guys.